Guys, sit down. Okay. So with us today, we have Bangladeshi ambassador to Italy, Mr. Shameen Ahsan. He joined the Bangladesh Foreign Service on April 1st, 1993. Prior to his current assignment, he served as Bangladesh High Commissioner to Nigeria from 2018 to 2020, and as Bangladesh Consul General in New York from 2014 to 2018. Previously, he served as Director General, External Publicity, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Bangladesh from 2011 to 2014. He also served as at the Bangladesh Embassy in Washington, D.C. as Deputy Chief of Mission and Minister, and in various capacities in Italy from 2004 to 2008, Kenya from 1997 to 2002, Qatar from 1996 to 97, and Kuwait from 1995 to 1997. Previous responsibilities in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Dhaka include Director of SARC from 2002 to 2004, Senior Assistant Secretary and Assistant Secretary in various desks, including UN Desk, Multilateral Economic Affairs Desk, Americas and Pacific Desk for a period of 1993 to 1995, and 2002 participated in numerous international conferences and meetings and various training programs on diplomacy, environment, security, immigration, and language issues in USA, Italy, India, Kenya, and Kuwait. He has written 2 books on diplomacy and international relations. He is currently serving as Bangladesh ambassador to Italy. So right now I am asking to join Mr. Ambassador.
Thank you very much for the very generous introduction. Can you hear me, all of you? Okay. Buongiorno. Good morning. Shubho Shakal. Assalamu alaikum. I'm very happy to be here. I'm very excited to be at this beautiful place. And I, at the outset, I sincerely thank the organizers, Diplomacy Festival, for inviting me not to give any speech or a statement, but to share my ideas and thoughts with the young, beaming, inquisitive students, the leaders of future. So I'm very happy to interact with the young minds, who are the leaders of tomorrow. So I think my younger brother, I came to learn that he happens to be a fellow Bangladeshi. So he gave some introduction. So by now you know, but I would love to introduce myself in my own way. Is it okay? But I can assure you, I'll not burden you with big or long speech. Having said this, as you have heard, I think since I'm at a distance from you, without mask, it's okay. As per COVID protocol, I seek the permission of the organizers, right? I'm fully vaccinated, so it's okay. For sake of clarity of my pronunciation, so that you can understand clearly. But I'm fully vaccinated. I hope all of you are vaccinated. So my name is Shameen Ahsan. I'm the ambassador of Bangladesh to beautiful Italy. And he has given a little introduction, Mr. Bijoy. It's a Bengali word, it means victory. And I'm very happy to share with you that this is the second time I'm in Italy. From 2004 to 2008, I served in different capacity as counselor and later promoted to minister. So from 2004 to 2008, I was in these beautiful countries. I like this country, loved this country. And so my government asked me to come and work in the country which I liked. So I'm here again. Having said this, let me, as I told you just now, I'm not reading out any written text or speech. I will talk on my country, its history, culture, its economic development journey, policies, and other important issues. And I hope my presentation, I'm not using any PowerPoint presentation. Today's format, I take it interactive fashion, not very structured. So I represent a country whose name is Bangladesh. I'm sure you are very much familiar about this country. You may not know much, and as a diplomat, it's my country to project my country, which I represent in beautiful Italy. So Bangladesh is perhaps the only country in the world which is named after a language, named after mother tongue, Bangla. Bangla is the mother tongue of the Bengali people. The reason behind this name is like this. I want to summarize because I have an allotted time, 15-20 minutes. And I will get back to you if you have some questions. In the process, we know little more. Bangladesh was a part of Pakistan till December 16, 1971. When the British left undivided India, there were two countries, the India and the Pakistan. Pakistan had two wings. We call it East Pakistan and West Pakistan. And today's Bangladesh was East Pakistan. And because of the misrule, exploitation, economic, and in every respect, there was seeming discontent among the people in East Pakistan, and leading them to assert for autonomy. And when their rightful claims were met with bullets, finally they joined for War of Independence under the leadership of the father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. So after 9 months of bloody war of liberation, we became independent we obtained final victory on 16 December 1971. So we are 50 years old. And it's very pertinent to share with you that we are celebrating 50 years of our independence, Golden Jubilee, this year, because our father of the nation declared independence on 26th of March. We celebrate that day as Independence Day. We have 2 days, if you listen carefully. We have Independence Day, 26th of March, which marks the formal proclamation of independence by the father of the nation. Then war started. It continued 9 months. We lost 3 million people, 200,000 plus women lost their dignity. So we had to pay heavily to earn independence. So at this time, okay, let me go back to the origin of the name Bangla. The majority of the people of the two Pakistans, we belong to East Pakistan, right? If you talk about the combined population, 56% people would speak in Bengali. Obviously, Bengali should be the state language, at least one of the state languages. But this rightful claim was denied. And the Pakistani leaders declared that Urdu, which is spoken, I think, only by 6% of the whole Pakistan. But the situation is that the leadership of within Pakistan would speak in Urdu. Because of that, Urdu had some prominence within the leadership. So when the people of East Pakistan, which is currently Bangladesh, protested, the students of Dhaka University made a peaceful procession on 21st February 1952. Peaceful protests were met with bullets and few students died. And we have been observing this day as Language and Martyrs Day. And you'll be happy to learn that UNESCO, you know it very well, an agency of the United Nations, in 1999, in September, recognized the day of sacrifice of our students for the right of mother tongue, that is 21st February, 1952. They recognized the day as International Mother Language Day. Now it is celebrated all over the world. So this UNESCO's day is now an international day celebrated worldwide. So our people gave blood for the protection of the right of mother tongue, that is Bengali, Bangla. So when Bangladesh became independent, East Pakistan became Bangladesh through long 9 months war of liberation. We have our own identity with our own name, that is Bangladesh. Bangla is the name of the language we speak, and Desh means land. So land of Bengali speaking people. And I think it's very pertinent to share with you that ours is a very homogeneous country. Over 95% people speak in Bengali. It's very homogeneous. And the 5% are ethnic minority groups, or some would say tribal people. But I understand they will also speak Bengali. May not be their mother tongue, but the point I'm trying to make, it's an interesting country that where 100% people speak or communicate in Bengali. It's a very homogeneous. So this is 1952, shedding blood for mother tongue, attaining independence under the leadership of the Honorable our father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. So I'm not going into details because of the time limit, but I'll touch on other issues. This is perhaps relevant to mention that current Prime Minister, do you know who is the Prime Minister of Bangladesh? She is a lady, she's a female. She is the daughter of the father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. And you will be as an ambassador of Bangladesh to Italy. I'm humbly proud to share with you that Bangladesh is perhaps the only country in the world which has the longest serving elected female prime minister. She has been serving as prime minister consecutively for 3 terms, and in total 4 terms. That makes her the longest serving. So this is something very amazing. Ours is a developing country, but we have the acceptability from society to accept women as a leader. This is not a mean achievement. I think you are getting me, what I'm trying to convey. It's my pronunciations. My daughter would say my pronunciation is horrible, but I hope at least you can understand. Let me say a little about my daughter. I told you that I was here 2004 to 2008. So my daughter was enrolled in Marymount School. So I'm very much familiar with the campus. I remember I used to drop her and pick her. So I remember these young faces. Just for my personal query, I think here, not only Italians, I think there are other students from different countries. Can you update me? There are students from other countries. So I think, and they're all are students of global governance, right? It's a very interesting subject that brings you here. So as I told that Bangladesh is now at 50. And I summarize what we have achieved. I have told you that Bangladesh, we will be very happy to learn. And I love to call myself, ours is a small country, but big nation. Do you know our population? Except you. Any guess? No. Okay, do you know where we are? We are in South Asia. You are in West Europe. We border with India, almost 3 sides, and south is Bay of Bengal. So we are in South Asia. We're an Asian country. But I know you're very familiar with Bangladeshi people because Italy is a very generous host of a significant number of Bangladeshis. I think around 150,000 something. It's quite, I think, one of the largest foreign communities in Italy. So I think left and right, you find many Bangladeshi people, right? In hospitality sector, especially in restaurants, we have thousands of chefs, cooks, waiters, especially. We have many people. So, and they're very happy to be here. So going back to my country, let me put something in a summarized version. Then it may generate some interest. It may provoke you to make some questions. Bangladesh is a small country. How should I say? 56,000 square miles, more or less, right? This is a small country, but ours is a big nation. Would you believe the population? 165 million people. Can you believe me? But the interesting part is that we are self-sufficient in food production. So feeding a population of this size, 165 million people with a small geographic size, it's a big success. And that was possible because of the leadership of the Honorable Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, who is a female. So let me summarize some successes Bangladesh has made in the economic sector. Bangladesh is, before SARS of COVID, you'll be happy to learn, I'm delighted to share with you that our economy was growing at a rate of 8.15%, one of the highest in the world. I think many of you are not aware. And in diplomacy, we call public diplomacy. There is one term when a diplomat talks about his country to familiarize his country and to dispel misperceptions and to create, greater and better understanding on his country, about his country. This kind of activities come under the jargon or terminology, public diplomacy. So my presence here is something like a part of my public diplomacy effort to share my country. And it is very important because Italy and Bangladesh are two friendly countries. And Italy was one of the first countries in Europe to recognize our independence, 12th February 1972. And we are going to celebrate 50 years of diplomatic relations between two friendly countries next year, starting from 50th year. Perhaps it will be year-long celebration. And our Honorable Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina visited last February, 2022, and met with the then Honorable Prime Minister of Italy. And there was an agreement that we'll celebrate jointly. So I'm coming back to the domestic point. Bangladesh is, I told you, before outbreak of COVID, it grew at a rate of 8.15%. It's a very amazing figure, very impressive. And due to COVID, it slowed down economic activities, and Italy was badly affected. I feel bad. So many valuable lives were lost. And even during COVID period, it grew over 5.2%. It's quite impressive. Now, growth rate is on the higher side as Italy is coming up. So the point I'm trying to make, the economic journey of Bangladesh has received global attention to the point that Bangladesh is called by many as the role model. By many, it has been called, especially, the name of the former UN Secretary General, Ban Ki-moon. You have heard his name? We're students of global governance, so you're more conscious than other sections. He would very often say, Bangladesh is a role model to the developing countries. And the why, let me tell you, as I told you, despite huge population, did I tell you that Bangladesh is self-sufficient in food production? Did I tell you? Okay. Bangladesh is a role model of women empowerment. Prime Minister currently, let me tell you, our Honorable Prime Minister is women. Our Honorable Speaker who was here a couple of weeks before is a woman. The leader of the opposition is women. Our Education Minister is women. Our previous and before him was the Foreign Minister was women. Just to put one important information, we have, despite the fact that ours is a developing country, we have attained gender parity, school enrollment years before. This is something unthinkable for developing countries. In the elementary level, at the high school level, we have already achieved gender parity. I'm talking about school enrollment. Welcome. And this is something very impressive. And Bangladesh is a role model in poverty alleviation in the social sector, like access to drinking water, reducing child mortality rate, reducing maternal mortality rate. It's a very impressive figure. We call it social sector. And at the international front, would you believe Bangladesh is the largest contributor of troops under UN peacekeeping missions? You know that United Nations to ensure peace and security, they have a mechanism to send peacekeepers to different war-torn, troubled regions, right? So Bangladesh is currently, and has been almost the top country, top or second or third. We'd have our position top troop contributing country or second or third in terms of the number of peacekeepers, armed and unarmed. So this is a very significant, important thing to share with you. And this has prompted some to say that the contribution of Bangladesh to international peace and security is disproportionate to its size of geography. Ours is a small country, but our role globally is bigger than the size of the country. That makes us visible at the international front. So I have touched on the economic side, and I have Bangladesh is one of the largest democracies in the world with 165 million people. And you can say that in respects of other areas of development journey, Bangladesh is, be it external trade, be it foreign exchange, foreign currency reserve, all indicators are in favor of Bangladesh. It is on the high side, and it's very impressive. You have heard the name of MDGs, Millennium Development Goals, set by United Nations, and we are one of the best performing countries. And now globally, all countries are implementing SDGs. You have heard its name, Sustainable Development Goals set by the United Nations. And we are supposed to implement, all countries, these targets by 2030. So Bangladesh is also doing pretty well. We are on the right track. So, and we have a other things to share with you. You have heard the name of tiger. Tiger, very, how should I say, very ferocious, the beautiful dotted, it's very beautiful. Tiger. Bangladesh is the host of, I'm talking about the touristic part, the host of, I think, more than 400 tigers. And Bangladesh is one of the best cricket playing countries. And our cricketers, young and mighty cricketers, are figuratively, allegorically called tigers. So that makes us visible globally. We're one of the best cricket playing countries. We have the longest unbroken sea beach in the world. That is Cox's Bazar. And let me share with you one important information. When you talk about, it's very interesting to share with you. Let me be perfect in terms of the figures. So I fail to read it out then, okay. In terms of production of rice, we're the third largest producer of rice in the world. We're the third largest producer of vegetables in the world, and mangoes and potatoes, seventh. And for production of fish, we are the third largest. And also in terms of, there are other things. You have heard the name of jute. It's a fiber, biodegradable fiber, jute products. Have you heard the name of jute? We are the largest producer of jute and jute bags in the world. And talking about another very interesting thing, Bangladesh is the second largest producer of garments in the world. Can you believe it? After China. In the world, Bangladesh is the second largest producer of garments. It's something amazing success we have had so far. And in the garments industry, I guess there are 5 million workers and 95 workers are females. That contributes in a big way for women empowerment. So now coming back to bilateral relationship, let me highlight the bilateral part because I am serving as ambassador to Italy. And also I'm also concurrently accredited non-resident ambassador to Serbia and Montenegro. So I cover 3 countries. And also I'm accredited to FAO, IFAD, and WP, you know very well, 3 important UN agencies, right? As like many ambassadors, I serve as permanent representative to these 3 Rome-based UN agencies. So these are the areas of activities. So we have a very friendly, cordial bilateral relations with Italy. And as I told you, Italy hosts a sizable number of Bangladeshi people, more than 150,000. We have a significant trade, I think $2.2 billion two-way. And there are huge potentials to enhance it, expand it. And, you know, the ENI, the energy giant, Italia, right? They are very keen to invest in Bangladesh, and we are facilitating their effort. And we hope that in the coming days, our relations would be will be strengthened further. And we are also working, as I told you, that to celebrate 50 years of bilateral relations from next February. And we hope that some agreements or memorandum of understanding, MOU, will be signed. So, and we have few students, I think. One of the students is here. Having said this, I told you that I'm not here to read out a very structured statement. I tried to share some important or relevant points relating to my country and bilateral relation with Italy. I hope my presentation might have may generate some interest, leading to some questions, and I'll be more than happy to respond to your queries. I have to stop here, but I'll be happy to respond to your queries. Thank you. So I'm here to respond to your queries, and please feel free. So you might have seen that I have one logo in my, so can you see something? It is the picture of the father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. We are celebrating 100th birth centenary of the father of the nation, whose daughter is now our prime minister. So it commenced from 17th March last year, and it will continue 16th December, the day of victory, this year. So as a part of celebration, we have drawn up some activities. So please feel free. Don't think I'm your teacher, then you are afraid. Oh no. So feel free that your friend from Bangladesh is here. I'm here. I can see our great host, and also our hosts all are here. Thank you, sir, for inviting me, and I sincerely thank Center for American Studies and the university for inviting me and for giving me the opportunity to share my thoughts and ideas. And the University of Tor Vergata, sorry for my poor pronunciation, but I'm very happy to see the beaming young faces. So please, I'll be very happy to, and I think I missed one important point. Bangladesh is currently hosting, of course, I should have touched on the foreign policy because I'm a diplomat. This is an important area, but I think you would have made some questions and I'll get back to you, but I should speak on it on my own before you pose some questions. Bangladesh believes in peaceful solution of all international issues or conflicts, and the dictum, the guiding principle of the foreign policy of Bangladesh comes from the dictum. The foundation of the foreign policy of Bangladesh comes from the dictum of the father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. It is friendship to all, malice towards none. This is the basis of our foreign policy that guides us to make friendship while we try to promote our interests on the bilateral or plane or in the multilateral forums. And we are one of the active members of the UN, and we have been elected in so many UN organizations and international organizations, UN agencies and international organizations that reflects our acceptability. And I'm very happy to share with you that because of the constructive role we play globally, as I told you that Bangladesh is the largest contributor of troops under UN peacekeeping missions, and sometimes second largest or third largest. And currently we have friendly relations with all the countries. Currently we are hosting, you might have heard the name of Rohingya issue, Rohingya refugees, something like that. If you Google, you will find. Myanmar is our neighboring country. And because of the genocidal acts committed by the Myanmar regime on the Rohingyas, they are mostly or all Muslims. They have been fleeing and coming to neighboring Bangladesh. And currently Bangladesh is hosting 1.2 million Rohingya refugees. It's a huge pressure on a country which is a small land with a huge population. It has multiple negative impacts also on the environment and also our employment. So what happens? Because of the generosity of the Honorable Prime Minister, this is a reflection of her generosity. And I would like to share with you that because of the extra generosity shown by Bangladesh, by the Bangladesh Prime Minister, Honorable Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, she has been called by the Western media. First, it was dubbed by Channel 4, one British TV channel. She has been called as Mother of Humanity because of the extra generosity. We're hosting currently 1.2 million people, Rohingya refugees. We call forcefully displaced Myanmar nationals. And we are grateful to Italy for its constructive role at the UN and other international fora, so that these Rohingya refugees or the Myanmar people go back to the country of origin or to their country. So I think this was important, and I'll get back to other issues once you pose questions. Thank you. Thank you.
First question.
Please, feel free. Yes.
Can you hear me? Yes.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
So my name is Simone. First of all, I wanted to thank you. Should I remove it? Okay. So my name is Simone. First of all, I wanted to thank you for your speech. I really appreciated it. And I am really in contact with the Bangladesh community here in Italy, since most of my neighborhood is part of Bangladesh, and also Bijoy is my friend. So I appreciated it. So my question was regarding something that happened recently, actually. So we all know that big fashion companies are producing in Bangladesh, and that the fashion industry uses Bangladesh a lot for production. However, the condition of workers is very precarious, and no security measures are often taken. This, of course, causes a lot of death yearly. There was an accord on fire and building safety in Bangladesh to implement security in the workplace, so to actually better this condition. However, many important brands like Walmart, Foot Locker, Gap, the North Face are still avoiding signing such accord. What is your response to such actions, and do you think that the international community should help you in the fight for better labor conditions? That was my question.
Thank you. Very interesting question. Is my voice clear, or it's okay? It's the right position, right? Okay. If I understood you correctly, you wanted to know about the better working condition in the garments industry in Bangladesh, right? Okay. As I told you, Bangladesh is the second largest producer of garments in the world, and it employs 5 million workers, and 95% are women. So yes, the present governments, I could share the statistics later, has taken numerous initiatives. There was an unfortunate incident of collapse of one building, Rana Plaza, a few years before, and a good number of people died, I think, about 1,100 something, I think, and around and good number of people got injured. And that was some kind of a wake-up call to raise the working conditions and improve the factory security issues. And there have been numerous steps taken by the government in collaboration with the ILO, International Labour Organization. And you might have, since you are taking interest on this issue, you might have heard the name of Accord and Alliance. So two groups representing the buyers from North America, that region, and European Union. We have these two major export destinations. And we work together, Bangladesh government, ILO, Accord, Alliance. And there has been visible improvement, and hundreds of, I guess, I have to get the exact statistics, I can help you later. Just it's a very interesting question. Hundreds of factories were closed down who failed to comply with the expected safety requirements. And in the process, the safety and security standard, also the wages of the workers have gone, it has been increased several times. So you have to understand ours is a developing country. So we cannot afford the ways how Italy is paying today, right? But we hope one day our Prime Minister is dreaming of a developed country by 2041. And a country whose economic growth which was before COVID 8.15. And during COVID, it was 6.2. We have that potentials to become a developed country by 2041, hopefully. So the government has taken lots of measures, and it has been recognized by the international community. So I can assure you it is there. Thank you. So next, please. The microphone.
Your Excellency.
I could effectively disappoint you, or you are happy with my answer? Okay, thank you. Please.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. My name is Rani Al-Sarakibi, originally from Syria. And I lived in Malaysia, and ever since I've been surrounded with Bangladeshis, as Malaysia is also host for a large Bangladeshi community. Your Excellency, your presentation was really interesting, and I would like to thank you for your generosity in giving us your time. You mentioned that Bangladesh, a country with over 165 million living in such a small country, is self-sufficient, and it's a developing country. So what could other developing countries learn from the Bangladeshi experience, especially those that are facing food insecurities? Thank you very much.
Thank you. So your question is an observation or your question? So thank you for your very encouraging remark. Yes, it's a miracle Ours is a small country, 56,000, just roughly speaking, 56,000 square miles, but 165 million people. It's a miracle. And because of the prudent policies by the government, let me share the secrets, right? How we could make it. Because we have a small land size, so we go for 3 or 4 crop production in 1 year. So we have to diversify, we have to be innovative, and we have to maximize the use of land, right? And our scientists have been able to invent, if you listen carefully, very interesting. It's a challenge. We are a self-respecting nation, right? We love to, we want to depend on our own. We don't want to be dependent on others. So how do you do it? So one the option is we go digital, we become more innovative. Our scientists have invented some special varieties. Bangladesh is one of the climatically most vulnerable countries in the world. And because of that, we have to be innovative. We had to be. How? Our scientists invented some special varieties because ours is a flat front country. So our scientists invented some special rice varieties, which I'm talking about the standing crops. When we plant those seeds, those standing crops can stand the water when there is waterlogging or flood, right? For days and weeks. Usually, they die. But we have invented some special varieties. If there is a flood, if there is waterlogging for days and weeks, they remain. They don't die. So apart from high-yielding variety, so we have invented some varieties which can tolerate salinity, because ours is a country with flat front country, right? That means saline water, is a threat to our production. But we have invented some varieties which can stand saline water. So these are innovative ways how we produce more within the small land without the chances of loss, damage because of the flood, fresh flood, or waterlogging, right? So, and government has been giving so many incentives, subsidized fertilizer so that people can buy it. So very cheap rate, they give fertilizers to the people. And there are also other incentives that help them. I told you that we have achieved gender parity at the enrollment. And in some cases, would you believe, male enrollment is outnumbered by female enrollment. In many schools, female students are more than male students. What's the secret? Because the government believes that investing in the education is the secret of development, right? They are giving so many cash benefits for the female students, cash stipends. Why? Because, once the parents are poor, what happens in developing countries? The parents tend to see that their daughters are married at an early stage because, parenting, rearing them is expensive, right? I'm talking about general scenario. And sometimes they help in their works, in the cultivation or something, but they don't put their kids in schools because it's expensive and they feel they cannot bear it. So government is giving cash benefits to the parents so that they put their female, the girls to the school. Now there is a parity, 50-50. In some cases, females are bigger than boys. With the result that they are becoming more educated, with the chance that they are getting better jobs, with the result that it is contributing to women empowerment. They're getting good jobs, they're earning, right? They're having voice in decision making. And at the end of the day, both boys and girls are contributing in the economy, I mean, effectively. So this is the secret of development, investing in the education sector. And you don't, yeah, so I want to stop here. Please go ahead. Sorry for my long sort of, okay, thank you.
Dear Ambassador, I am Nicola Garofalo, student from Italy of Global Governance, second year. My question for you is, you mentioned that in your country, relatively small geographically speaking, there is a huge population of over 100 million citizens. My question to you, Ambassador, is how is the country dealing with this situation, and what is your personal idea that will develop in the long run?
Thank you. Okay, I'm very happy to see that my very disorganized presentation has generated lots of interest about my country. So if I understand, thank you for your very witty question. If I understood you correctly, did you mean what are the secrets of development, right? I told you, it's a miracle. It's a miracle, I told you. It's 165 million people, but we are self-sufficient in food production. And the FAO, which is based, Italy proudly hosts FAO headquarters, is awarded our Honorable Prime Minister. I think this is 1999 and 1998, something, sorry, it's in between any year. They awarded our Honorable Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina as the CERES Medal, CERES. You have heard its name? It's a prestigious award given in recognition to success in agriculture. So our Honorable Prime Minister was awarded by FAO. So I told you, first is, I think it's a leadership, visionary leadership of the Honorable Prime Minister. She has a vision for making Bangladesh digital by 2021. We have achieved remarkably in respect of digitalization. She has a vision for making a country develop by 2021. So she has a vision, and when you have vision with doable objectives, if you engage the people effectively, if people are educated, I told you, education is the foundation of the development. Would you believe Bangladesh being a developing country, our people, we have an NGO called BRAC, B-R-A-C. It is the largest NGO in the world. They have been, I appreciate the very constructive and visible role of Italy in Afghanistan and in many countries. The BRAC NGO has been working in Afghanistan. It's a very challenging, environment because of the civil war and so many things happening. Have been working to build the entire primary school, elementary level. They have been very actively engaged to build the education structure in Afghanistan. I guess they also lost one of their workers. The reason behind is that education is the solution to address any kind of extremism or militancy. If you have proper education and religion, all religions are for peace, and some misguided elements try to misuse it for their narrow political gains. So if they are properly educated that every religion is for peace, every religion is for stability, so they cannot be misused by any misguided group or organization. So our NGO has been also working in Afghanistan, and they did a very fantastic job. The point I'm trying to make, we did not use hard power, we use soft power. You know what is soft power and hard power? Hard power in a very general term is armaments. It's a very general term. Soft power is education, is the culture, is the knowledge, this kind of things. So because of the lead, and as a nation, I'm very happy to share with you another secret, I will say, our people's inertia. Ours is a flood-prone country, and fortunately, there is no major flood in many years. But when people are washed away from, because of the water, they have to move to another place. They don't, they come back when the water goes down. This means that people are so resilient. And Bangladesh is, let me share with you, this is very important, is known as a role model in respect of adaptation, fighting climate change. We are one of the most climatically vulnerable countries in the world. This is a negative part. But we are helpless is the reality, geographic reality. But at the same time, we have turned this negative part as a positive in the form that we have attained the status ranking. What I have said, we are one of the most vulnerable countries in respect of climate change, right? But we are one of the role models in the world in adaptation measures. You know, adaptation and mitigation. Adaptation is how to address climate change, keeping climate change as a reality. So you call it making river embankments, you make it dredging, or take some steps which can help you reduce the negative impact. And we are a role model in disaster preparedness. Let me share with you one interesting information, statistics. 2006, I was in Italy. Cyclone Cedar is a name, you know, every cyclone has a name. Cedar, S-I-D-R. I was in Italy serving in my earlier assignment. It attacked Bangladesh and we lost around 3,000 people. And Cyclone Nargis attacked neighboring Myanmar, which is also called Burma, now Myanmar. They lost around 250,000 people, same ferocity. Can you imagine? We lost two cyclones with same strength or ferocity. We lost 3,000 people around. Myanmar lost 250,000 people around. It was possible because of the amazing, impressive disaster preparedness we have built over years. Because we know we have to live with it. I cannot say, bye-bye, cyclone. No, it's a reality. It is there, but we have to be innovative. We have innovated, we have invented some local, we call it homegrown tools, our own ideas and strategies to fight climate change. And that has made us one of the role models. And many would say Bangladesh is a role model in fighting climate change. Thank you. Please, next. Thank you. If you're so close, I think if you speak without speaker, I think I can hear you. I'm within my time, ma'am, or I have to, is my time? Okay.
Thank you. As you have mentioned, Bangladesh economy relies a lot on the textile industry, and the cheap prices of fast fashion cause severe environmental consequences in Bangladesh, as rivers are contaminated with chemicals and greenhouse gas creates pollution. What are the possible solutions to protect the environment? Thank you.
So I think you are talking about two issues, right? Emission.
Yes, but in general, climate change due to the fast fashion industry.
Okay. The climate change situation is aggravated by the factories, right?
Yeah.
Issues.
Yeah.
And another issue? I think I'm getting you. Thank you. Very interesting. I told you that our government, under the leadership of the Honorable Prime Minister, with our own resources, has set up fund to address the climate change and that address the challenges posed by climate change. And I told you, I summarized the steps taken by the government to address climate change. Not only the emissions, coming from the hundreds of garments factories. We are talking about, in general, And many vehicles have been, transformed into, they are based on LNG, liquefied gases, which are, I'm talking about greening, greening the transportation sector. So there has been an emphasis on using environment-friendly, more fuels, liquefied gases, and we have sufficient gases. So we have, the government has set up a fund to address with its own resources and it has taken different projects to implement it has taken numerous steps to implement the projects to address climate change. And I told you that for adaptation measures, it has taken lots of initiatives, and our contribution to emission globally is very, very minimum. But the point is that, which we try to assert and articulate in the international fora, is that with the developing countries, despite the fact we are very least polluter, but we are being affected by global emission, or then we are disproportionately. Our contribution to emission is very insignificant, but in the format rise of sea level rise and other things, we are being impacted. And our Honorable Prime Minister will be attending the COP26, Conference of Parties. And I congratulate Italy for being the co-host. I think you should be proud of it. Italy is the co-host of COP26, which is the in-person event. Main part is will take place in Glasgow, United Kingdom. Starting from end of this month, continuing, I think, 12th of November. And there were two elements of the COP26 in Milan, and also under that, IPU that Italy hosted in collaboration with other partners, the speakers from different countries and members of parliament. Recently, our honorable speaker joined on pre-COP 26. The COP, Conference of Parties. It's the largest, perhaps, forum to discuss and find solution on environmental issues. So Italy and UK are co-hosts of this COP26. So it's a big issue, and the Glasgow event will take place in the first. It will start, I think, the end of this month. It will continue up to 12th or 13th of November. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your speech. I'm a GG2 from the University of Rome, Tor Vergata. And my question is also related to the fast fashion, to the presence of the multinationals in the developing countries and all the problems related to this phenomenon. And I want to ask if it's possible another path of development for the developing countries, meaning that a path that is different from the one pursued by China, and a path that leads to, let's say, a wide notion of development, a development that is not only related to the economy and to the growth of the GDP, but it also includes the well-being of the citizens and the respect for the environment. Is it possible in the actual global socioeconomic system, or it's, let's say, an utopian idea?
পরিবেশ বিপর্যয় ঠেকাতে আমরা কি করতে পারি বৈশ্বিকভাবে আন্তর্জাতিক? Okay, thank you. Very interesting question. I tell you that it's a global, climate change is a global issue. It's affecting everybody. It's affecting globally, every country. Maybe we can, it's useless to keep accusing each other. You are polluting and we are victims. Let us be practical. It's challenge. Global climate change is a fact, right? And we have to address it. And obviously, those countries who have contributed negatively in the form of population, should take the bigger role. And I think the whole world and the COP26 Conference of Parties Italy is a party to it. It's a very active country. We need increased collaboration between countries globally, because it's a global issue. It's not an European, West European or European Union issue. And you know, Italy is the proud host of G20. Italy is going to host the G20 summit, I think, at the end of this month. So if you, as students of governance, I will request you to follow it. So the point I'm trying to make, climate change is a fact. It's a global challenge affecting each country, be it developing or developed. So we should have closer interaction. And I would say the developed countries who are more industrialized, it's not accusation, it's a facts on the ground, who have contributed more in terms of emission, in terms of emitting the world, they should, and who have the economic strength to address the climate change so they should come up with more funds. This is one of the issues to address this challenge. So the affected countries should receive adequate funds so that they can implement the projects to address it. So this requires international cooperation and collaboration. This is very important. I think I could summarize. Thank you. Anyone? Please feel free.
Hello, dear Ambassador. My name is Shanae Wilson. I'm from South Africa and I'm a GG2 at Tor Vergata. And my question has to do with the fact that as someone who comes from a developing country and who knows how difficult it is to sort of create more access to tertiary education as the population grows exponentially, I'd like to find out if in Bangladesh, with the exponential population growth, you also have the same sort of balanced exponential growth in access to secondary and tertiary education, or whether this is also a problem for you in terms of your infrastructure. Thank you.
Very intellectual question, right? A very academic question, I would put it in this way. I'm not perhaps an expert to give the perfect answer, but if I get you, as I told you that government has built infrastructure and facilities so that the students at the elementary level can move towards the next level, right? Higher middle school and finally to other levels. And to ensure that there is no dropout because of some economic or social factors, the government has put some incentives, including cash. The students receive cash so that they feel attending schools, and parents don't feel getting them married because they are contributing earning. So they are not concerned. So there some measures are there so that the ratio continues and the trend continues. And I think that is there. And we can see the positive impacts of it. And there are positive signs of education when there is education leads to consciousness. So there is a delayed marriage, right? It stops early marriage, and early marriage has many negative impacts. It's complications in maternal mortality and many things. So I think yes, Bangladesh has the infrastructure and other associated allied facilities to take the program take the program forward. We have, but being a developing country, I think we are yet to do more. But I think that we are on the right track, and it's working very well. And coming personally, you come from South Africa, right? I was serving as diplomat in Kenya, and I went to South Africa. I was there 19 days, I think. Do you remember that you must be kid, 1987. I was sent to our mission to help organize the visit of our Prime Minister for the 12th NAM summit. You have heard the name NAM. NAM means non-aligned movement. It was held in Durban. So I was sent from Nairobi, being physically close to South Africa, not so close. It's East Africa and South Africa is quite. So I have been there in your beautiful country for 19 days. So I think I could partly respond to your queries. Yeah, thank you. So apart from Italy, what are the other countries you represent? Just my small curiosity. What are the other countries represented by the student community here? I have one from Asia, right? And of course, South Africa. Africa is there, Asia is there, and of course, all are Europe. Which country? Brazil. Which country? Brazil.
Russia.
Which country? Turkey. Do you know your legendary footballer play, right? Brazil's footballer play. He was also president later, right? He's known to our people. Many millions of people know his name, and Brazil is one of the top favorites in Bangladesh. Same with Italy. Do you know when Italy became World Cup champion last? Anyone? Any guess? How many times Italy is one of the most formidable, powerful, mighty, it's a language, soccer teams in the world. Do you know how many times Italy became World Cup champion? 4 times, 4 times. Amazing. Last time it was, I think, 2006, right? I think 2006. I was here. So, okay, so that is there. Anyone? Next. Please remind me, ma'am, if I exceed the time. I don't want to impose on them. They are bored and I keep on going. Please, if you have something. Germany.
I can also ask a question.
I transited from Germany several times. I went to Serbia, Belgrade recently, many times. And
I wanted to ask a question about Bangladesh's foreign policy. The region, there are like numerous conflicts in the region, for example, India and Pakistan or Afghanistan, also conflicts with China. What is Bangladesh's position on these conflicts? Because Bangladesh is a very small country. Does it stay neutral or is it interested in having a position on these conflicts? Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you for your interesting question. If I understand correctly, we are doing pretty good in many respects, internationally and also in the domestic front, but Bangladesh is little known or something like that. Yeah, ours is now Bangladesh is visible. I told you Bangladesh is often cited when people at the international level talk about climate change, adaptation, fighting climate change. The name of Bangladesh comes. Bangladesh is a role model. When they talk about peacekeeping, we are the largest contributor of troops under peacekeeping missions. We are mentioned as the climatically vulnerable countries, but we are also mentioned for being a success story in addressing climate change. So we are one of the most powerful cricket playing nations. We are a success story in women empowerment, poverty alleviation, and in many respects. So these issues are coming. Of course, there have been negative propaganda sometimes, and it's also correct that our positives are not properly publicized. So we hope that Bangladesh will be more known in the coming days, and that is very much expected. Thank you. So, এদিকে ছবি তুলেছিল এদিক থেকে সামনে থেকে এদিক থেকে তুলেছিল Okay, so I think I should sincerely thank once again Diplomacy Festival and the Center for American Studies for inviting me for this wonderful session. But very special thanks to all of you who made this program successful. Thank you, ma'am, for being supportive. And because of your presence, and I am grateful for the interest you have shown. That was very important for me. So please keep in touch, and I'll be happy to meet more inquiries. And please visit Embassy of Bangladesh in a group or whatever it is. I can host one day, and I can brief, and we can host you with Bangladeshi cuisine cooked by Bangladeshi chef. Please visit one day the embassy, and you will have a better idea about what Bangladeshi is, right? So thank you is a small word, and special thanks to all those who made questions. Thanks to everybody. Thank you very much. So I can go back to my